everyone, to another episode of Innovation Alley. We're your hosts. I'm TowelManPurple.
I'm Bjorn.
And today we're going over two separate takes on some new REIGN of JAFAR stuff. We're going to start off with an Emerald Sapphire deck from Bjorn's straight from the kitchen, Geyser Stitch. Bjorn, tell us about this deck. Take us away.
Yeah, the main card here is the new Sapphire Stitch, legendary card. He is pretty good. He's at 3/3, that costs 3, and he quests for 2, which is great. But also, he can just come back again and again from the discard pile, just like a Lilo. However, instead of paying ink, you actually just discard a card. To be more precise, discard an inkable card, but still, you just discard a card, and he comes back. So you don't, which is way better than Lilo. Because if you take back Lilo, you're gonna miss 2 ink, and you can't play anything, right? But he just bam for free. However, the one caveat here is that every time he comes into play, the opponent gets ramped. The opponent gets to take an ink from the top of their deck into their inkwell.
You mean take a card and make it an ink?
Yeah, exactly. That's not very good, though, because that means that your opponent is going to reach things like their big characters or be prepared much earlier than they should, and that's very bad for you. So we have a solution to that.
All right, talk to me.
If you scroll right down, you'll see the action called Ink Geyser.
That makes sense.
Fantastic card. It equals the playing field. It makes both players take ink from their inkwell up into their hand until they only have 3 ink left. So your opponent is never going to be able to play Be Prepared, because there's never going to be 7 ink. You're just gonna reset it back to 3. I mean, I don't know what to say, except I think this truly can combat Stitch's downside pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're just taking away the benefit that they reaped from the Stitch further down the line.
Exactly. You ramp them, but then you remove the ink, and sure, they're gonna have a million cards in their hand, but it doesn't matter because there are 3 ink. What are they gonna do with all those cards? TowelManPurple?
Hold them.
if you have 3 ink and 10 cards in hand, what exactly are you gonna do? How are you gonna win from that? You're not, right?
At 3 ink, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, you're probably just gonna play one thing, you know. So again, it doesn't matter. We don't care about their hand size, and we're also gonna have a lot of cards in hand because Ink Geyser is gonna take our ink back to our hand too. But that's okay because we have cheap stuff, so we're fine. We don't need more ink, and Stitch comes back for free. So the 1-drops here, a very intentional 1-drops here: Little John and Pegasus. Right?
Okay.
Little John is here because sadly we don't have access to Daisy Duck. I would love to have a Daisy Duck here, but we are not Amber, so we can't do that. But we have Little John, which is a 0/4 that quests for 1. The 4 willpower is the most important thing because we want our 1-drop to survive, you see. And for the exact same reason, we have Pegasus here, only 1 willpower. However, with Evasive, Pegasus will survive because nobody can hit him. So both Little John and Pegasus will be able to quest, but also stay for what comes next. Because on turn 2, we're going to play either Yokai, which lowers the cost of shifting by 1, or we're going to play Tipo, which gives us an extra ink, or we're going to play even Sail the Azurite Sea, which also gives us an extra ink, which means that on turn 4, we can shift the lovely Baymax in with Universal Shift 4, meaning that you can shift him on anything. Any character can become Baymax with Shift 4. And this is why it's important that our 1-cost character survives until this turn 3. which is again why we have the evasive and the big willpower there. Unless, of course, if we play Tipo or and he survives, then we could just shift on Tipo. But it's always good to still have that one cost character, so we have more chances to shift in case one of them gets removed by something like Brawl or Storm.
Right.
Right. Then we also have, for the 2-drops, we also have a Gogo Tamago. We're probably not going to play that on 2, but it's something we'll play later, probably, because when we play her, we can pay an extra 2 ink to gain lore equal to the damage on an opposing character. And I think that's got to be pretty good, especially if the opponent has been challenging your characters and taking damage. Close out the game.
I mean, yeah, Gogo's a great finisher.
Yeah. And then we have on 3, Hey Hey, which makes you gain an ink if the opponent has more ink than you, which, if you played Stitch, then the opponent does have more ink than you. So you also get that extra ink, again, evening out the playing field.
Yeah.
Or Kit Cloud Chaser can take something of the opponent's back to their hand, which, again, the opponent is already going to have super many cards in their hand due to Ink Geyser filling their hand back up from their ink. So us returning even more stuff to their hand means that they can't do anything with it. It's basically the same as discarding the card.
Exactly.
Yeah, like too much stuff in hand means that you can only play a few at a time. But then we do have actually the shift Go-Go Tamago. So there could still be a reason to play the 2-cost Tamago on 2 or 3. Because this Go-Go Tamago, it costs 4 and it's a shift 4, which seems to be very strange, right? Because usually when you shift something, it is cheaper than playing it normally, right?
Yeah.
But here, the benefit of shifting is that if you shift her, you get to pick one of your opponent's characters and put it into their inkwell.
So it's a built-in
So
let it go.
Absolutely. It's a built-in let it go, a built-in Hades. It is really, really good. And again, oh no, we're giving the opponent so much ink, it doesn't matter. Next turn we can play Ink Geyser. It's okay, it's fine. Right?
So good.
Yeah. And Honey Lemon says that whenever we play a Floodborn character, it doesn't matter if we shift it or not. We don't even have to shift it. If we play a Floodborn character, just choose a character and put it back in the owner's hand. So again, the opponent is already going to have a full hand. So
for
take
the
one
Honey
of the
Lemon,
characters.
you do have to use shift.
Oh, it does say.
Yes.
No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the second sentence. If you use shift to play them. But we are, though. Like, that's the whole point of the deck. We are shifting. So we will be able to use her ability a lot.
Yeah, I think so. Baymax, you're shifting regardless. Go-Go, you're shifting regardless. You would prefer to shift Pegasus because of the benefit.
Yeah, we're never paying 5. Absolutely not.
Right.
But, we're going to shift Pegasus just for 3. Yeah.
And Honey Lemon also quests for 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things quest for 2 here, actually. I think it's really nice, Hey quest for 2, Stitch, Gogo Tamago, Honey Lemon, Pegasus, Baymax.
Yeah, it's a lot of questing pressure.
Yeah, and most cards are pretty cheap, so you get a lot of them out. And Ink Geyser, okay, you're back to 3 ink, doesn't matter. You can play 2 costs when you ink up to 4 again. I like it. I think it is a pretty fun deck. Oh, and yeah, of course, and to top it off, we do have You're Welcome as well as extra removal. Again, the opponent is going to have a super full hand, so them drawing 2 cards doesn't matter at all. And we do have a lot of characters who can sing it.
Yes.
Like the Gogo Tamago, the Baymax, the Honey Lemon, the Pegasus. Yep.
I like it. There you have
Thank
Geyser
you.
Stitch, a good old classic Emerald Sapphire deck. I do like the new cards. Great addition. New way to take a new take on the deck and the color pairing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Stitch is so fun, but I just thought that, okay, what if we remove the downside?
Right. Right. All right. Well, we'll take it
How about-
over to what I'm bringing.
Yeah, your deck. What have you been
TinkerMax.
cooking?
Well, it wouldn't be
Hmm.
fun unless we tried something Ruby Amber or Amber Ruby or however
Hmm.
you want to put it, right?
It is somewhat of a favorite combination of yours, one could say.
This is correct.
Hmm. I see.
So, they're all characters here, right? We'll start with that.
Ooh, 60
Um,
characters. I love it.
in the future, we may see some more just-in-time shenanigans. Try the old Jim Hawkins.
Maybe
But
some
for
locations
now,
even.
yeah, locations, of course. But for
But
now,
for
we'll
now,
work on some character stuff. Leading the
just
way
characters.
with my favorite one cost in the game, Daisy Duck, the greatest one drop, the most efficient for being aggressive. It is a 1/4 questing for 2, one cost. Can't go without it.
Ooh.
All right,
Oh, I wish I could have her in my deck, but yeah.
I believe it. So then, also in the one drop slot, we have 4 copies of Card Soldier. Now it's a 1/2 standalone regularly quest for 1. If you have a damaged character in play, not just you,
Hmm?
it could be your opponent, but just having
Annie.
a damaged character, the Card
Yeah.
Soldiers is a 3/2 instead of a 1/2, thus for creating a very annoying card and kind of prevents your opponents from questing. So you keep them at check, keep them at bay,
Yeah.
allowing you
Pretty
to
good.
build board state. I would then say the last one drop, we have 4 copies of the Mulan, the 2/3 that comes in play with 2 damage counters.
Yep.
Obviously, it coincides pretty well with Card Soldiers. Obviously, it's also really good with Rapunzel, and if you're playing
Mm-hmm.
Amber, you're probably playing 4 of this card, and we'll get to that in a minute. Best card in Amber. And no Shift Mulan in here, just strictly for Rapunzel value and for Card Soldier value. Now we
Sure.
have 4 copies of Flynn Rider. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody here remembers Flynn Rider. If you're new to the game or new to this set, we'll say that it's a 2/2 for 2. And at the start of your turn, if you have a character in play that has the most attack stat than your opponent, then you gain 3 lore. So as long as you have the largest statted character power wise, strength wise,
Yep.
you will gain 3 lore at the beginning of your turn. Which
Absolutely.
in this deck, we are trying to have pretty big characters when it comes to the strength.
There are definitely some big characters there, I see.
Yeah, there's some whoppers in here, right?
Yeah.
Now we have the 2-drop Mother Gothel for the same reasons as the Mulan, right? But
Yeah.
Gothel happens to be a 3/4 quest for 1, so it's a little bit higher statted. And with that extra 1 point stat on each side, it also comes with an additional damage counter on it, meaning you can get full Rapunzel value, or
Hmm.
you're still going to get the Card Soldier to be a 3/2, right? So something to keep more synergy going within the deck. And then
Yeah.
one of the new cards from Reign of Jafar, we have 2-cost Tinkerbell. It is a 1/1 with evasive and quest for 1. However, whenever you play a character with 5 strength or more, you can exert that character and gain 2 lore. So
You just gain lore.
yes, we're trying to gain as much lore as we can and as quick as we can, really. Because
Yeah.
if you can play, for example, this next
Mm.
card that we have in the 3-drop slot, a
Yeah.
5/2 Pete, the quest for 1, the questing for 1 doesn't even matter anymore. The stat line is great. So it's probably going to be challenged by something either undervalued in casting cost or
Mhm.
or something is going to be trading and you're going to be very happy about it, right? So if a
Mhm.
fox comes into this card, you're happy you got rid of a fox.
Oh yeah.
As an
And
example.
and
But
either way, you already got 2 lore from the card.
exactly, he comes into play, you exert it, you gain 2 lore immediately right off the rip. And
So
that's a
so it's
beautiful
kind
thing.
of like rush for questing then. It's a rush but for questing. Am I
Yes,
right?
exactly. And it goes to the
Oh,
next card. Prince John, 3-cost uninkable 5/5. Quest for 1.
that
Yeah.
that
5/5.
seems too good.
Okay, now he does have a small downside,
Yeah.
but it's also an upside. So whenever an opponent plays a character, deal 1 damage to this character. So the upside
Sure.
is you can trigger Card Soldiers, you can have more Rapunzel value. And between Prince John, Mother Gothel, Mulan, you also gain more value for Gaston, and we'll get to him as we go in order of the cost of cards. All right. Now,
That's
3-drop
a crazy
slot,
card.
hand Sisu, right? It's a 1 plus X 4. X being the amount of cards in your opponent's hand. So if they have 4 cards, Sisu is a 5/4, which means
That's
it will trigger for the Tinkerbell.
yeah.
Also another great target for Rapunzel because it has a 4 willpower, right? So
Right.
a
You
lot
can
of our
challenge
cards are
something
here.
and then heal. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of our cards here are good for allowing the full value of healing. All right. So for Rapunzel, once again, best card in Amber. You can remove up to 3 damage counters from a character of yours to gain up to 3 cards. You're going to draw up to 3 cards based on the amount of up to damage you remove. Just a great card. 1/5, quest for 2, cost 4. It's great. Can't say more about it. Goofy. 4 cost Goofy.
Super goof.
It's got Rush. It's a 2/4. It quests for 1. But when it challenges something, you gain 2 lore. So
again, an instance of you just play a card and gain 2 lore.
Yes, basically wanting to net as much lore as possible. That way we can, get closer to 20. Shout out to first to 20.
Right.
Now, at the 5 cost slot, we have Darling Deer. It is a 4/4. But when you play this character, chosen character gets +2 lore pips this turn.
Okay, so again, a character that you just played and gained 2 lore.
Exactly.
Does it ever stop?
And more lore gain. So now, next 5-drop card, we have Mufasa, the king. All right, 3/3, quest for 2, and when he's banished, you flip the top card, and if it just happens to be a character, you put it into play exerted. Now, in this deck, it's going to be a character, guys. So there's have no fear. We're getting some value out of the card, Then
Absolutely.
Yes. Then the 6-drop slot, let's get that out, is a 3/5 called Maximus. He quests for 2. Now Maximus says, at the end of your turn, if you have any character with 5 strength or more, you gain 2 lore. If you have any character with 10 strength or more, gain 5 lore instead. So there's a great chance that we gain 2 lore.
Right.
We have quite a bit that can get us to that distance. But now, our last card in Gaston. 9 cost Uninkable. It's a 10/6. It only quests for 2. It's got Rush. But for each damage character you have in play, you may pay 2 less ink to play this character. So, if you're on curve, so to speak, you could go turn 1 Mulan, turn 2 Mother Gothel, turn 3 Prince John, turn 4 Gaston.
That is kind of crazy.
So it can go in a sequence where you put a very large character into play. Now, will it happen that way? Crazy. Not that often, right? Probably not. But it will happen in a sequence in which you will get the Gaston out, probably aggressively challenge something in a profitable fashion with a stat line of a 10/6. And, hopefully you have Maximus in play to gain some extra lore at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if Maximus is there, then you gain 5 lore at the end of your turn. I mean,
that's 25% of what you need to win the game. So
that's crazy. That is crazy.
So some honorable mentions that didn't get to make it into the deck yet, just because, some things you want to go over, you want to test some more. I would say Piglet is obviously a card you can always test because it can quest for 3. Something along that line. Just more questing power, essentially. There's not a ton of artificial lore out there that I'm not utilizing. I mean, there's a few cards that don't synergize, like pertaining to songs, or maybe some of the items which would reduce your Mufasa hit ratio. There's just a lot of different things to take into consideration, so a lot of them didn't make the cut for the list. But I think maybe
Yeah.
Piglet would warrant a slot in the deck moving forward. It's just an idea.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'd be a little bit tempted to have a couple Pirates Life in here.
I don't mind Pirate's Life because it does sing together. So
Yeah,
that would also potentially make me want to switch some stuff up a little.
yeah. There's a lot of potential here. I think that these two colors, and pertaining to Tinkerbell and 5 strength characters, I think we can explore a lot with this. There's a lot to find with this deck. There's a
Oh,
lot of
for sure.
potential.
Yep. I can't wait. I can't wait to play some more. We've only done a couple of like inside testing, but when the cards are actually released, it'll be full on testing.
Oh yeah.
You only get to test at home at this point. So there you have it for TinkerMax and the Geyser Stitch straight out of Bjorn's kitchen. So back to the segment of, if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back, right? If you are one of the new ones, please make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button right down below to stay up to date on all the content. We gratefully appreciate everyone that comes out here, and appreciate is short for appreciate, just in case, trying to get through this as quick as we can, do things on the up and up. I will say, if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to drop a comment. If you want to make something about how you like one of the decks, or something you dislike about one of the decks, something you think we can add or remove to improve the decks, or something you might even like seeing moving forward on the next segment, please feel free to drop a line down below. We gratefully appreciate it. We love all the feedback. Thank you for this great community. Yep, down below, Bjorn. That's right down below. Until the next one, keep innovating.